Hey, everybody. Good evening. I'm Ellen Lewis, and welcome to this episode of the Crazy for You podcast. I'm so happy that you're here. It's really nice to see you. So I'm excited, as I always am every Wednesday night, because I'm always got something fun for you. So tonight, I'm especially excited because we're going to be talking about one of my favorite fibers, and that is Rowan linen. So there's a whole book of it's not a big book. I guess it's a little book, but it's still a book. It's four patterns just for Rowan linen, which is just an absolutely beautiful yarn. So, hey, Amelia, nice to see you. It's it's been such a rainy day today. I can't even believe that somebody said it was going to go down below freezing on Friday night. We go from beautiful sunny weather. It was crazy. I mean, I was in Easton this past weekend. My daughter's childhood best friend got married, and it was just a beautiful event over there. And the weather, the weather was nice. They thought it was going to rain. It didn't. It turned out to be an absolutely beautiful evening, and it was really lovely. I was thinking as we're getting ready to drive over there, because this is probably how you do too. Hey, Eveline, nice to see you. So whenever we're going someplace, I always pack a million things to knit because I have this idea that I'm going to have all of this time in the car. It's 2 hours to Easton, right? So I'm going to get all this knitting done, and I'm packing all this stuff. So I have everything packed, and it's in the front. And of course, my giant dog decides that, no, in fact, I'm not going to knit. I'm going to hold him in my lap for the entire trip. So that was interesting. But he's a puppy. Well, he's not really a puppy, but he feels like a puppy because he's so goofy and crazy. Do you know what I'm saying, though? Do you always pack like way more stuff than you actually have time to knit? I don't know what it is. It's just maybe the eternal optimism of knitters. Hi, Gail. Nice to see you. Hey, Jal. I'm so glad you guys tuned in tonight. So yeah, tell me in the comments if you overpack. I guess it's this, I call it atricotophobia, which is fear of running out of things to knit. That's not a real word. I just made it up, but I love it because I think it is so true. You go on a trip somewhere, and the idea that you might finish everything you've brought with you to knit, and then you have nothing to knit. It's just so horrible. Anyway, so as I said, super excited to share with you tonight two of the books that we didn't really get a chance to kind of go over when Trisha was on. She was focused very much on the main Rowan line. And these two books are put out by Quail Studio, which is very much in collaboration with Rowan. They do a lot of the designs for Mode. And as I've said many, many times, the Mode line is just very fresh, very young, not overly young, do you know what I mean? But it's not staid in any way. It's just, it's very, very current. And I like that. And their designs are very clean and simple. Hey, Sarah. Hi, B. Terry. Oh, my goodness. It's so nice to see you guys. Let's see. Yes, Gail says it exactly right. You just don't know what you're going to want in it. So you have to pack it all. It's like going to the grocery store. How do you know what you're going to want to eat on Tuesday when you're shopping on Saturday? Better buy it all. I get it. So true. Yes, I think we all have that disease, Eveline. Yes, absolutely. So anyway, super excited about this book because I love the Rowan linen. I will tell anybody who stands still long enough near the Rowan linen in the shop to tell them the story. And it is that I knit this sweater, which is just, a little drape front tank. I knit that in the Rowan linen a decade ago. I mean, easily a decade ago, because I remember it came out in Knitty. So it was before there was even a Ravelry. So somewhere in the 2010 range, I knit that sweater. And I'm telling you, it's 2021, and every summer I wear it probably twice a week because it's white and it's so comfortable. So it goes from wearing to washing to drying. I mean, in the washer, in the dryer. And honestly, if I could show it to you close up, maybe I will later. it looks brand spanking new. I mean, not a single pill on it. It's still really white, which is, sort of a hard thing to get in, yarns, especially if they have any wool in them. But so that's kind of cool, I think. A yarn that's really beautiful and it's lovely to knit with, but it's also super durable. All right. Yes. Yes, it's a fun word, isn't it? Bee. Oh, let's hear what job. Yes, you just never know what you're going to be in the mood to knit. Got to have it all. Better have it all. And the needles to go with it, which is why I'm such a huge fan of interchangeables. Because then you have all the needles. Because you might stop at a yarn store. You might see something new. You might have to buy it. And then you would have to cast it on right away, or at least swatch it. And what if you didn't have your interchangeables with you? That would be grim, wouldn't it? We wouldn't want that to happen. So I will stop yammering. And I wanted to show you real quick the colors that we have in the Rowan linen, and I have all of the colors that are available in stock at the shop, except for the one, of course, that I forgot to bring, Apple. But let me just put this camera on and show you real quick what they look like. Okay, so this is this kind of silver color, and I love this whole sort of palette here. So you have these kind of beachy neutrals. This is gray, white, and then a natural, and then a taupe, and then this beautiful blue. And you'll see actually in the patterns that I'm going to show you later on, they've used these 5 colors together in one wrap. It's so beautiful. It's just really, the colors I think are so calming and pretty. But they also have several kind of really fun colors that are brighter. I think of these as more autumnal colors, and some people can't wear wool at all. And I think this is a really nice alternative because, again, it is nice to knit with. And if you are kind of an autumn, these are, I think, really pretty colors. So this is kind of a pumpkin color. I can't remember what the name is, but it's really pretty. And this one just came in. This is called Oasis, I think, which is a beautiful, very cool dark green, very pretty. And this one is called Raspberry. Now, none of the colors is going to look the same as like cotton might look when it's been dyed or mercerized, because it does have that linen, and the linen takes the dye a little bit differently. So this is a 50-50 cotton linen worsted weight yarn. So I think it's beautiful, knit anywhere between 18 and 22 stitches per 4 inches. This sweater that I did at 22. So it was a little firm, but again, I love it. And I think that's part of what has helped it wear so very well. Hey, Gwen, nice to see you. So let me go ahead and share with you my screen, and I will show you the linen projects. Okay, let's get those up. All right. So this is, these are the 4 patterns that are in the book. And we'll just go through kind of one by one. This first one is called Bondi. Oops, that's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. So this is just a really pretty, super oversized, striped sweater, and it's done in the white and then in that kind of natural color. Very pretty, very easy fitting. It's got a huge amount of ease. And it also has this really sweet little detail here. Let me get this close up. Can you see that just before the color shift, there's this little eyelet row, which is just a nice little detail, and it keeps it from looking too too plain. So I think that's very, very pretty. That would be a nice kind of beachy thing to wear if you ever go north. I love long sleeved things in the summer, but I'm always cold. So I'm looking at what Amelia has to say. Amelia likes the emerald green, yes, and the raspberry. Aren't they pretty? I think they're beautiful. So here's another picture. So you can see it's a drop shoulder, and again, it has quite a bit of ease. It's a little bit, the sleeve is very long. So normally when you have a drop shoulder, the sleeve length is not as long, but this has a 19-inch sleeve, which is fairly long for, for a sweater. So anyway, I think it's really pretty. And I have my notes here somewhere. Of course, I've lost them. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. So yeah, drop shoulder. And this takes, this is worked at 20 stitches over 4 inches, and it takes between 3 and 4 skeins of color A and color B. So between 6 and 8 skeins of that yarn to work it. And again, the ease is between 2 and 6 inches of ease. So oversized, and the length is between 25 and 27. I think it's hard sometimes to know how long something is going to be on you because the models don't always have the same proportion of the body that us mortals do. They tend to have very, very long legs and very short bodies, so it tends to look a little longer on them. So you would want to measure your own length and see how that would fit for you. So Gwen, this is oversized. Yeah, this is pretty oversized. I mean, it's got 6 inches of ease, which is a decent amount. It's not as oversized as the one that I will show you later on. This is what I want, except this. Whoops, hang on. Okay, never mind. Here, we'll just go with this. Okay, so next one, this is that shawl that I was talking about. Mary's actually making this up with, instead of the blue, she's using the raspberry, and it's so pretty. This is just a simple garter stitch scarf worked with 5 colors. So this is a very kind of meditative wrap. It's worked on the bias. So, and you have these color shifts in there, which make it very pretty. Yeah, I like that. How many of you are accessory knitters and how many of you are garment knitters? Go ahead and tell me in the comments if you would make a garment or an accessory if you had to pick. Because this, like I said, this takes 5 skeins, and I think a lot of the sweaters take the same amount of yarn. So I'm just sort of curious where you guys are on that. Okie doke. This is a pretty one. This is called Ray, and this is worked in what she calls a bee stitch. So it's a really pretty stitch that is, it doesn't curl. And what I love about this particular garment is it has a beautiful front facing that's worked at the same time. So it's really nice. Can you see that? Yeah, I think that's really pretty. Again, this is a drop shoulder, but look at this little detail here where the shoulder is set in. I love that because it makes the setting in or the attaching of that sleeve so much easier, because she's got a little bit of like 6 or 8 rows of garter stitch on there. And I think this is a really clean, really modern looking cardigan for summer. And then here at the cuff, there's a little bit of a seed stitch. I mean, a little bit of a garter stitch again, or maybe that's reverse stockinette. Let me look in the book real quick. But isn't that pretty? I think that's just lovely. Let's see if there are other pictures of that here. Yeah, there it is from the back. So that sleeve detail is garter stitch rather than reverse stockinette. But I think that's really pretty. Very elegant. Yeah, I think this is nice. I think Danette bought the yarn for this. So very pretty. Excited to see that. Okay, so let's see. Terry is a garment knitter. Amelia, accessories first. Eveline likes that one. Yes, I think that's pretty. And Karen is an accessory knitter. I knew that. Let's see. Is it trendy not to have buttons? That's a really good question. Now let's look at the next garment, and I think that might answer your question. So here is the last one from that book, and this is called the Sand Top, and it has tons of buttons. And I'm not even sure that they need to be functional, because I don't know that you would really ever wear it unbuttoned. I mean, you might, but I think the look of it is so cute buttoned up. I mean, it definitely looks like a top versus a vest, although you could certainly wear it over a blouse like a vest. I love this one. I think this is really cute because this shoulder line, I mean, personally, and a V-neck, that's a very flattering line for me personally. What do you guys think about this? Do you like it? Let's see what Amelia says. Yes. Amelia makes a good point that accessories often have more going on. So it makes them maybe more interesting to knit. So this is the Sand Top. And again, the reason I like this one, just from a purely selfish perspective, is I like the cut of it at the neckline and the armhole. But I think that if you look at this, is a very attractive and clean finish. This is a turned stockinette facing, which looks so polished. And I love that kind of polished look on this garment, which I think just makes it so attractive. Yeah. So what do you guys think? Do you like those garments? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And if you have a favorite, tell me that too. So yeah, I think I will probably knit this Sand Top. Let's see. Does this start with sizing extra small or small? Okay, so pretty much all of the Rowan garments, I think, start with extra small. They don't, and I love this, they don't give names to their garment sizes because, you know, nobody needs a name because medium is a meaningless term. Just meaningless. So what they do instead is they talk about the size to fit, so your bust size, and then they talk about the actual bust size of the garment. So this actual bust size of the smallest garment, Gwen, is 35.5, and the largest bust size of it is 51.25. So again, you get to choose how much ease you like in your garment. You get to decide, yeah, I want something that fits a little bigger or more loosely, or I want something that fits a little more closely. You know, I might make a smaller than normal size in this because I know that I would never wear it over anything. I would just wear it on its own. So I might not need any, you know, additional ease. And again, those are personal decisions. Those are decisions you make based on your personal style preferences. Yeah, it's pretty, isn't it, Heidi? Yeah, I love that. Okay, so the other one that I wanted to show you is this book. So this is the Mode at Rowan. This is their sort of supplement. It's 4 patterns for modes. So let's get to it. Let me share my screen on this. And close all these guys. Sorry, I wish there were a cleaner way to do this. I just want to. Okay. All right. So this is the 4 patterns in the book. And the first one I'll talk about is called Forest. And when I was talking about that one in the linen being oversized, it's not that oversized. It's a little bit oversized. With 6 inches of ease, that's a little bit oversized, but not a ton. This one is way oversized. Okay, so this particular one has like 12 inches of ease. So that's a really, really generously sized garment. This is worked in hand knit cotton at a gauge of 20 stitches over 4 inches. And I think it's really pretty. Again, a drop shoulder. It has shaping at the shoulder. Do you like this one, Gwen? Gwen likes that one. Yeah, I think it's really pretty. So it's basically worked in garter stitch. It has ribbing at the hem and at the cuff, but the body of it is worked in garter stitch. So, you know, it's going to have a lot of give to it. You know how garter stitch kind of stretches vertically. So it has a very sort of relaxed feel. Yeah, and that one, yeah, that's 19 stitches to 4 inches. So the ease amount, and I did the math on this, that's why I wanted to find my notes, is between 18 and 20 inches. So, yeah, very pretty with the little seats, with the little trim. And the other one I want to show you is this. So this is really pretty, but let me show you it in real life. Here we go. So Mary actually knit this already, just exactly as the pattern. So isn't this pretty? Let me show it to you kind of full screen. Can you see this? So it's a cowl, and it's worked with 3 different colors of Silk Haze and 4 different colors of Summerlight Decay. And it's really pretty. It's so light, and there's a lot going on. So like Amelia was saying, with accessories, there's usually a lot of fun stuff happening. So that makes it probably more interesting to knit. So you've got stripes, and you've got yarn changes, and you've got colors, and lots of fun things going on. So I think that one is really pretty. And you could wear it long, or you could wear it like, I'm going to take this one out. Whoops. You guys can still hear me, right? Okay. Let me show this. Yeah, okay. So here it is wrapped twice around the neck, which I think is very pretty. It's just a pretty little spring accessory, just a little something, you know. And actually what we did was, yes, Karen, it is in a kit, and I just put it on the website today. And what we also did, we put it together in a kit, and I also had Mary pull 2 other color options. So there's the green, which I've called Leaf, and then there's a pink version called Blossom, and then there's a kind of a blue pale aqua combination called Sky. So 3 different color options for this. And yeah, it's a kit. It is really fun. I think you would really, really enjoy it. So yay. Oh, Jal was in. Isn't it pretty? And doesn't it just feel so soft? I think it feels absolutely lovely. I think, you know, this is the kind of thing that would make a fun sweater. You know, if you wanted to do that interesting knitting, you could easily turn something like this into a sweater. You know, use the same stitch pattern and just make your own design. That would be fun, don't you think? Okay, so what else do we have? All right, anybody who hasn't seen this yet, this is our knit along, which starts late next month. This is the Moss Cardigan, and I love this. I love this with all my heart. I think it's just beautiful. And I have already swatched it up, and I can show that to you here. Where's my little swatch? Oh, here it is. Okay, so here is the swatch for this. So I think it has a really interesting texture. It's a little bit ribby. It's kind of a knit 3. It is a knit 3 purl 1, but it's reversible. So it's very clever the way it's done. It looks beautiful on both sides, and it's really fun and meditative to knit. So it's not a boring knit, but it's not one that's going to be making you crazy. You're not a slave to the chart. It's just it's a 2-row repeat. And I love the texture of it. So this is worked with a strand of Kid Silk Haze and a strand of the Rowan Cotton Cashmere, which makes an absolutely delicious fabric. It's just beautiful. It's so soft. And I went ahead and cast on. Please don't be mad at me. If you're doing the knit along, I just had to see, how it was going to look all the way across and how quickly or slowly it was going to go. So I did. But here is that swatch, and this is the knit along that starts, like I said, next month. At the end of the month, because I had to push back. I didn't realize that some of those colors were going to be so in demand. So I worked with my rep, and he told me, what was going to be available when. So we've pushed it back. So if you have ordered this and it hasn't come yet, please don't be afraid. It will get there. Dribs and drabs, it's coming, but it is actually coming. So yay. Anyway, I love this garment. I'm gonna share my screen now. There we go. So I love this garment. This one is very oversized, has a great deal of ease. It is got like maybe 13 to 15 inches of ease. So it's a big piece, right? So it's going to be very generous to wear kind of around, and the sleeve is nice and long, and it just feels cozy to me. I really, really like this. Yeah, so this is the ecru, and this is what I've called the moss color, but I have put it together in kits on the website in at least 5 other color palettes. So it's very pretty. What do you think about this? I also wanted to tell you that you could easily do this if you wanted to do it without the Kid Silk Haze. You could do that and just do it with the cotton cashmere, and it really wouldn't change your gauge that much. It would just be kind of a different fabric, which is totally fine as well. I have a number of people in the knit along who are doing it without the Kid Silk Haze, and I think that would be every bit as pretty. But I just think this would suit a lot of people. It's nice and long. I think it's pretty long. I have to look at that. But because again, like I said, the models usually don't have really long bodies. Okay, so this one is the smallest size is 28 inches and the largest size is 31. So 28 is pretty long. On me, that would come down kind of over my fanny, which is what I want. So let's see. Oh, you want it? Huh. So Gwen, let's talk about that. If you still want to do the Kid Silk Haze with that, it's totally fine. The gauge is a little awkward because it is a rib. I think it's important to remember. I'm going to show this again. So this is, do you see how it stretches out? You have to do enough length on that gauge to really measure it. I think it's hard to see, you see, because you don't get the ribbing pulling in until you have enough length. So making sure that you've got enough length so that the structure begins to create an accurate gauge. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if you cast on this is where I've cast on, and do you see how much wider it is here? Look how wide that is that I've just cast on. I have less than an inch done. But do you see how much wider the gauge is? Because it hasn't had a chance to kind of pull together. Does that make sense? So anyway, not to worry if your gauge on that is not perfect. So you let me know what you want to do. Anyway, I love it. And if you're interested in that, we're starting that at the end of the month. And the last one from this book, let's see, share my screen again, is called Seashell. And this is just such a lovely, elegant garment. One of the things I really like about the way they do this, the way they do their patterns, is they sort of have they have a variety of styles. So if you look at this, to me, that says it's very elegant. It's very dressed up, and it's a particular personal style that's going to wear a garment like that, and it's going to be a different personal style than somebody who's going to wear that. So I love that. So they've really tried to offer designs that meet a variety of preferences. So again, there's going to be somebody who wants to make an accessory. There's going to be somebody who wants to make a really relaxed pullover. There's going to be somebody who wants to make a cozy cardigan. And there's going to be somebody who wants to make a really, really elegant pullover. I mean, this is beautiful. I can see that. You could wear that in the evening. And it has a really modern kind of puff cuff and this beautiful, generous neckline. I think that's so pretty. I personally can't wear this. I wouldn't wear this because I don't like that neckline up at my neck, but I can, I think it's beautiful. So what do you think? Do you guys like this one? Tell me if you like this one. And would you knit it? Would you wear it? Amelia probably wouldn't knit this because this would be a very boring knit because it's miles and miles of stockinette. I personally don't mind that. I love miles and miles of stockinette because I like boring knits. But anyway, I think that they've done a really nice job with this collection, both of these collections in the for the mode, the 4 patterns, and then for the linen, giving a cardigan, a pullover, an accessory, and a little tank and all of that. So anyway, those are available on the website if you want them. And if you have any questions about them, don't hesitate to reach out. You can put it in the comments, and you know where to email me if you would like to email me. I would be happy to answer your questions about that. So let's see what Mia has to say. Yeah, the detailing on the cuff is really pretty, and I love the look of the neckline, but it's not for me. Kathy says, not my style. Yeah. Evelyn, I can definitely see you in this. This would be beautiful in you because you do tend to be very flattered by the jewel neck. It looks very nice on you. So yeah, you could definitely do that. I'd love to wear it, but yes, probably wouldn't knit it. Absolutely. So many things are like that, right? It's not in the round, Evelyn. Rowan is not a big in the round fan, so I'm with them on that. If you look at this garment that I did, I knit it in the round, and you can see that it biases just a little bit. Can't maybe see it up close. Let me pull it off and you can see. So I'll show you if you can see this. Can you see that it biases just a tiny bit? It's very hard to tell, I think, from this perspective, but yeah, it's a little bit biased, and I find that I'm always sort of tugging at it, although I do love it. And you can see that the fabric, doesn't it still look brand new? And it's so soft. I love that about linen. It's constantly getting softer and softer as you wear it. So if you knit one of these things in the linen, you're going to absolutely love it the first day, but you're going to love it even more the 20th time you've washed it. So let's see. Ray, yeah, isn't that pretty in the linen? That's very you. I can see you wearing that, Amelia. Sarah says, do you like the one with the dark green stripe? I like that too. I think that's really pretty. It's so comfortable. Okay, when knitting the two strands together, how much can you feel the mohair on the cardigan? I find mohair tickly, but Mia, you might want to stop by this shop and feel it, and see what you think. I don't find it tickly, but people are different, are sensitive to different degrees. It's really up to you. I am notorious for not finishing sweaters, so I love in the round. Yeah. Right. Finishing sweaters. I mean, it's interesting. I just sent out the survey. If you got the survey, you saw that it was very interesting, the responses about finishing. So that's going to be kind of a centerpiece in the membership site. We will be doing a lot of videos and workshops and whatnot on finishing, on how to finish, why we use certain techniques when, and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think finishing is a challenge, but when you've put that much time into knitting something, you want it to last and you want it to really look good for a long time. So I think it's important to have a really solid finishing process when you're doing it. Again, everybody's different. That's just my opinion. Let's see. The neck looks in one piece. Yeah, the neckline, let me look and see if the neckline has worked in one piece. My glasses here. Yes. Yes, so the neckline is absolutely worked in one piece. It wouldn't have to be, but it is. One thing that you could do, I'll share this again. One thing that you could do with this is rather than working that ribbing so deep, you could do, and I think that would really help it for me, is if you put, can you see my cursor? If you were to pick this up and do that neckline just an inch, then it would be perfect for me, because then you have, rather than having it come all the way up here, then you have this kind of open place. So that is what I like. I like a very open space here. I don't like things that come up unless they're a turtleneck and they come all the way up. So for some reason, it just doesn't suit me. And I think that's kind of an interesting thing we're going to be talking about in that site is, developing your personal style and how to kind of figure out before you decide to cast something on whether it's going to suit you, and how you can begin to develop your personal style as far as knitwear, and choosing good patterns that kind of suit you, so you don't have that horrible feeling of having knit something and put it on for that moment and feel like, oh my goodness, this is awful, because I've had that experience and it's no fun. So anyway, that's what I have for you tonight. I have all of the yarns in stock, most of them, and the ones that are not in stock are on order, and I am told that they are coming and they are, working really hard. So they'll be here, and if you're interested in the knit along, that's in the newsletter. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. It has been a pleasure to be with you and to share these beautiful designs with you. I always enjoy my Wednesday evenings with you guys. So we'll talk again soon. Thanks so much for being here. Good night.